What's up guys, Mickle here, and in this video we're going to talk about something that has created a lot of confusion in the XRP community, and that is public versus private ledgers. Guys, this is a topic that has led to a lot of drama and led to a lot of misconceptions about where the future is headed. In this video, I want to show you a clip of Ripple talking about the difference between private and public ledgers and what kind of role they are each going to play in our future financial system. This is a topic everyone needs to understand, and it's going to give you a much better idea of the asset you hold. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. If you enjoy these videos, make sure to take a quick second to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's really going to help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said though, let's jump right into it right after a quick word from the sponsor of this video. So guys, a comment I see all the time on my channel, and this really stems from people first learning about private ledgers and their use case in the next generation financial system is Ripple going to abandon the public ledger? Is there a scenario in which Ripple says, you know what, we're just going to use these private systems and leave the XRP ledger? So first, let's talk about that. Well, guys, I think that is highly unrealistic. And why do I think that? Well, every single day we see Ripple interacting more and more with the public ledger. For example, Ripple just made it public that they're actually looking to only do transactions in their business model that go directly through XRP. They're not even looking to use their centralized legacy payment system anymore, RippleNet. They're looking to make sure everything flows through ODL. So that's a prime example of Ripple taking steps to incorporate the XRP ledger more into their business. We also see that Ripple is now starting to hire institutional DeFi managers, once again showing that Ripple is looking to take explosive steps in further integrating the public XRP ledger. But guys, this does not mean Ripple is blind. And let me tell you what I mean by that. We live in a world today with private and public databases. There are private databases on the internet. There's also the public internet, right? There's a use case for private and public data. Imagine if your social security number, your bank account numbers, your passwords were all on the public internet. That right there should perfectly paint the picture for you why we need private databases. Obviously, not everything can be on the public internet, and not everything can be on the private internet. The whole reason social media is so explosive, the whole reason social media has been such a game changer for society is because it's on the public internet. It allows us to create these complex network effects between different people, allows us to share information permissionless and in a neutral way. This is why the public internet is so special. But what you just saw right there is a perfect example in the Web 2 era of why you need a public system and a private system and how those two systems work together. You don't want everything public and you don't want everything private at the same time. Well, guys, with that said, I want to show you a video of Ripple themselves talking about the difference between public and private systems, because I think it's going to give you a much better idea of the world we're heading into. And then we're going to break down exactly how XRP fits into this entire picture. Listen up to this.
Ryan's going on with Ripple. I want to follow up with a couple comments on particularly the conversation about what we'll see going forward and the ecosystem we see developing. So right now, I think blockchain and Bitcoin has been described as a panacea for everything in financial services. We spent 2 years working with banks for proof of concepts, pilots, and live products that they're working over our network now to learn that that is not the case, that Bitcoin or blockchain is not needed to solve all of our issues. As was said earlier, DTCC can go real time today with the technology they have today. It's not a technology problem. What we're focused on and where blockchain comes in is on use case specific issues. So in finding a use case where there's friction that could benefit from blockchain. So in our vision of the future is that you have some blockchain or Bitcoin networks developed, both private and public, and you also have centralized systems like DTCC running today. And the value we see going forward is not in building a network that everyone uses, but in connecting these different networks. So we see a very a varied ecosystem of both distributed companies and distributed networks, along with centralized networks. And the value here is going to be connecting those. There was a comment earlier about, do you need blockchain to connect those? And we wholeheartedly think no. That is not necessary, and nor do we think we'll likely see that. Likely because of the permissions, the operational resiliency concerns that come up when outsourcing the operations of a network to unknown parties. That's far outside of what we see in the regulatory construct. So we likely see an interoperability protocol that gets developed that is not blockchain-based.
You mean the individual networks may be blockchain-based, but the network-to-network thing is not?
Correct. And I would point folks to the W3C, the Web Standards Group for the Internet. They have such protocol that they're working on now called Interledger. And it's a non-blockchain protocol that connects centralized systems and distributed, along with distributed to distributed. It creates an internet of value, as we see it, where there's connectivity between all different types of systems and systems that are designed for use case specific problems, not one architecture that we apply to everything. I don't think that's where we'll see a practical application of these tools.
So I know a lot of people probably listened to that and thought, oh my God, XRP is not as useful as I thought it was. Oh no, how is XRP not used as this interoperable system? But before you get too wound up, just understand this. Ripple saying this is so important. They are the adults in the room. They understand the world we're heading into is not all going to be on public ledgers. This is something most of the blockchain ecosystem has yet to comprehend. Most people in blockchain think your entire bank account's going to be on a public blockchain. That makes absolutely no sense. Imagine if everyone in the world can peer into your bank account. Imagine if every single financial transaction you have ever done in your entire life was on a public blockchain. That just doesn't make sense logically. We all want privacy in our lives, and it goes back to the internet example I gave earlier. We all have reasons to use private financial systems. We all have reasons to make private financial transactions that we don't want other people to see. And this is where private chains and private ledgers are going to be critical. Companies are not going to want all their resources, all their financials on public databases. It doesn't make any sense. The same way these companies don't want all their passwords, all their employee social security numbers on the public internet databases. These things don't make any sense. But what these companies are going to want is access to decentralized financial systems that everyone can leverage. These are the public blockchains that Ripple is introducing via the XRP ledger. Companies in the future are going to need to trust decentralized protocols to move value all around the world, because what we have learned through time and history is centralized ways of moving money can be manipulated and weaponized against other people. Just look at the United States freezing Russia's assets and saying, okay, well, we control the system, we make the rules. This is a perfect example of an issue decentralized public blockchains solve, and a perfect reason why XRP is always going to be critically important in the world. But it's not to think that XRP is going to solve all the world's problems. XRP is a key piece. It's going to be a key resource. It's going to be a key asset in this future financial system we're heading into, but it cannot do it all on itself. The XRP ledger is always going to act as one of the best ways to move value all around the world in fractions of a second in a decentralized way for less than a penny. And this is an immense amount of value the XRP ledger is bringing to the world. But it doesn't necessarily mean that my bank account is going to be on the XRP ledger one day. And the sooner people understand that, the sooner we can create a very knowledgeable and reasonable expectation on exactly where XRP fits in the future financial system. But the most important thing that we need to understand is this is something Ripple has known since day one, and something Ripple has been building their products around. Guys, I would be so much more bearish on Ripple and the XRP ledger if Ripple was going around saying we were all going to have our bank accounts on the XRP ledger. If Ripple was going to different companies and saying, oh, we didn't even think that you might want to have privacy in your financial transactions. We want you to all do your transactions on the XRP ledger. Your privacy doesn't matter. Guys, that's what a lot of people in blockchain think are going to happen. That's how a lot of these different protocols right now in the blockchain ecosystem are being built. What Ripple is a firm that understands how business is done in the real world. This is why they attract people like Rosie Rios and former members of BlackRock and former members of the Federal Reserve, because Ripple is actually building products that are fit for a future financial system. Ripple is actually building products that businesses can leverage to transform their payment flows, and Ripple understands that the world we're heading into is going to be both public and private. Guys, the sooner you realize that that is the future that's being created and that is the future we are heading into, the sooner you realize that it actually creates a flywheel effect. The more we build private systems, the more we're going to need public systems, and the more we build public systems, the more we're going to need private systems. Building private systems based on DLT technology is not bearish for blockchain. It's not bearish for XRP. It's actually extremely bullish. It lets these corporations understand the powers and the efficiencies of these systems and wants them. And it's going to make them want the real thing. It's going to make them want to further investigate the public use cases. Public blockchains are not going away. They're always going to be a critical part of everything in this next generation financial system. And Ripple is putting the XRP ledger right in front of them. Ripple understands that this future is not just all going to be public. There are use cases for private, but that is what they are building their products in preparation for. That has been their plan. And that's why the XRP ledger will always be the best situated. All these other different cryptocurrency projects thinks everything's going to be public. They think there's going to be no need for private systems. Guys, they're going to be in for a rude awakening when they see what the institutions really want, because in my eyes, it's never been more clear, and the internet gave us the perfect roadmap on what we should be expecting. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.